Good morning, and it's now 5:31 and 43 seconds. And of course, yesterday we have a bit the clock. Of course, let me share this to you in a bit. Good morning, and it's now. Of course, we will be having a story time portion of the morning rush wherein at this hour of commuting coming from Palapala all the way to supposedly Paranaque ITX, but for some reason they have diverted to outside and heading into the unsanctioned bus terminal somewhere in or close to EDSA interchange. That's why we do not encourage everyone to head straight directly to EDSA interchange if you're coming from Cavite, not only because of the possible risk to congestion, but also for apprehension as well. But lo and behold, there is a story wherein, despite this odd moment, everything will be made better if this would be into a good position. But for the meantime, we have a rush hour congestion already in the E3 northbound, heading towards the Las Piñas Parañaque Toll Plaza. And likewise, we are encouraging everyone to check first with the bus unit before you board on, since during the rush hours you could find yourselves being stuck and the worst thing here it is that in the case of the rush hour congestion, if you don't have any tap and pay provision, then you were out of that luck already. And as far as we are warning everyone, particularly the Danghai extension in Imus City, wherein the overpass construction takes place bypassing the Malakasang roadway. And there you go, a heavy. And now we are issuing a standstill warning on the Malakasang Junction. Once again, a standstill warning on Malakasang Junction. Once again, we are now requiring everyone to detour immediately as you have received such notification on the major standstill warning. There is a possibility that the standstill traffic may even reach the parts of Malagasang roadway, ending it up into Don Placido Campos Avenue for the downtown Dasmariñas as well. And likewise, several Waze reports already that we have received, and now we have the latest information. The westbound Highway 65 got congested already at this time. We warn everyone, especially if you're approaching the Palabala, to just divert immediately to the alternative routing, particularly if you're going towards Martires for the southbound of Highway 419. You have to stay on this right lane and exit immediately upon reaching Kidsville Junction. Once again, we are strictly implementing the 200-meter prohibited zone for such swerving, and do not swerve under any circumstances the last minute for such last minute changes that you're about to be made. And of course, swerving would lead into an accident. And likewise, follow the speed limits as prescribed. Mostly on expressways, we are at 100 kilometers per hour for the rural, and then 60 for the urban expressways, particularly on the sharp curves. And we have a construction report. Portions of New Gun Road got into lockdown due to the ongoing construction that takes place and the unfinished bridge construction or rehabilitation for the Embarcadero Bridge would trigger a standstill advisory at this time. There is a possibility that construction-related congestion may occur at this rush hour, so we have advised everyone to divert immediately your routing into the alternate ones. And please make sure that your vehicle is in top condition to handle such changes to the elevation of the General Alvarez Silang Road or Carmona Silang Roadway. And therefore, the Cavite Laguna Expressway is still under the finishing touches, and of course, we are expected to have some sort of documentary reviews regarding the Cavite Laguna Expressway construction completion this July. And likewise, we have several constructions reported across Bacoor, Dasmariñas National Road. These two are located in Dasmariñas City, while the one is in Bacoor City, particularly the controversial Molino overpass that is yet to be done on time. And there is a possibility that such delays would mar the widened highway experience, particularly those going to and from Molino. And we advise everyone, particularly in the southbound direction, to divert immediately, or the northbound rather, to divert immediately through the diversion roadways that is being available at this time. Let's zoom this thing out, and we have no reports of congestion so far, but we have a disturbing news yesterday that in this mid-afternoon, there is a bad vehicular accident that we have detected somewhere right after the Petron southbound of the E2, while the widening construction is ongoing for such segments coming from Susanites all the way to Mamplasan, that requires a 5 to 6 lanes per direction, thus suspending the work briefly yesterday for the segment that is affected by such a bad accident that leads to the congestion of the expressway yesterday mid-afternoon. And as such, we have warned everyone to please observe the speed limits, and we will be sharing later on for such travel related story time. And we have received the latest information. There is an ongoing congestion at the overpass portion of the EDSA Rojas interchange, particularly the northbound towards Highway 120, wherein an ongoing rehabilitation is hereby ensued at the north portion that needs a repair. And heads up to all trackers who are listening or watching here that you have to divert your routing immediately to E2 northbound at grade. And likewise, we have a congestion alert already for Highway 1 AH26 EDSA, particularly the southbound in Mandaluyong City on the approach to the EDSA Show interchange. And likewise, portions of Meralco Avenue is still closed due to the ongoing Metro Manila subway construction. And likewise, we have warned everyone that during the rush hour congestion, we recommend everyone to take MRT or LRTA train lines at this time. Better yet, you have to use your tap and pay cards that is hereby acceptable at this moment. And also, we will share it to you this story time right after this week. Good morning. And of course, this is the story time for this morning rush. And of course, we are at this story time for the morning rush, wherein we will share to you the story of the road trip or joyride or journey that we have started right from the Falcon Manila base, wherein unfortunately our founder engineer loses vehicle got been confiscated untimely and then impounded somewhere at the undisclosed location. Of course, we have no choice but to take the taxi towards the impounding area. And what do we mean the undisclosed location? It's because of the security protocols that we have take place, especially that we have a confidentiality or non-disclosure agreement that has been enforced right here on DP24 Media to avoid some unnecessary risk that would cause not only personal but professional life as well. And of course, from that undisclosed location, of the impounding area. Of course, we have to settle everything. And please be reminded that in this case of Metro Manila, wherein you could be stuck by a loss of the applicable parking slot. Of course, we recommend everyone to use the pay parking area, particularly the off-street ones. That would be much safer and secured, instead of just leaving it there unattended for extended hours. That would lead into confiscation by the government already. And of course, we don't want to happen to this. That's why we are not tolerating anyone, and we have sent him a notice that we should not ever repeat this same mistake again of doing such illegal parking allegedly in a street that is not designed for such parking. And of course, upon hearing this statement, of course, as a responsibility, we would ensure the safe journey towards the sustainable engineering practices. And of course, we have to undergo some of the navigational aids that is being required. And therefore, while in the journey, there are several speed restrictions in force, particularly on the elevated E2 or the Metro Skyway Stage 3, that is being set at 60 kilometers per hour at any time. And such overspeeding could be penalized. And for the record, there are many cases already of the speed-related apprehensions upon reaching the toll plaza at the exit of the expressway or freeway. And sometimes police would ask you to pull over to the nearest exit or a service area that is designated such. Never stop under any circumstances on the expressway or freeway for safety reasons. And for such, if you're feeling that you need to take a break, you have to pull immediately to the service area as designated. And as such, the journey continues, heading towards the undisclosed location for the supposed snack. And that is where we have to mitigate some sort of measures that takes place in order for us not to inhale such smoke coming from the errant individuals taking their cigarette smoking, which is supposedly not allowed by law, and we do not tolerate that practice, especially if it's close to the restaurant or eateries that were found. And of course, we have to make sure that everyone is safe and sound by implementing such strict practices. And of course, 100 kph speed limit is strictly enforced at the entire section of E3 Cavite Laguna Expressway. Believe it or not, there are several speed cameras that are waiting for those errant vehicles whizzing by the overspeeding bayan or past the speed limit of 100 kph and ended up apprehended at the toll plaza upon arrival. And as such, that low balance or no tag errors could never be tolerated. And it has to be replaced right away upon the inspection. Say there are instances of slowdowns due to ongoing rehabilitation at the Highway 410 from Silang interchange of the highway all the way until the downtown or the northern portion of the downtown junction leading to Sabotan Village. And yes, we have to undertake such prudent decision not to go beyond such destination as required. And upon reaching to our base, of course, what we have realized some things that there is a need for a changes that needs to be undertaken. And that is meant to be aired as part of our safety and security advocacy that would save our lives as well. And that ends this message. And there you go. If you have missed this portion, kindly tune in later into DP24 Radio 1 in order to watch the portion of this segment. And of course, we might have the post edit beep or sensor that we may require as such before we air it into Radio 1 as well, and also on General TV, sometime as part of DP in Focus live session. So going back to the morning rush, it's now 6:01, and if you have missed this portion, let me project this one once again. For some sort of construction issues that we have to undertake, particularly in these closures that we have meant to be aired all over DP24 Radio 1 and General TV. And now projecting here is the construction status for the New Gun Road and the Embarcadero Bridge that is still unfinished despite the congestion risk that we have to endure. And right now we don't see any red or orange lines indicating such situation. And recently in Padapala we have a reported congestion already due to the rush hour. And now we have an update on the standstill warning, and it is now being upgraded into major standstill warning for the Malagasang Junction in Imus City. So everyone taking this route must divert immediately elsewhere. And if you're from Dasmania City, you have to divert immediately to the Imus Boulevard right away by turning into left from Don Placido Campus Avenue. And there you have it. However, do not make any right turns from the northbound of the Imus Boulevard. Just go straight on or a straight through immediately. And likewise, we have an updated rush hour related congestion update in Highway 419. It's now moderate to heavy already in Imus to Bacoor City. And some portions of Bacoor City have its ongoing construction as well. So if you came across these construction sites, you have to reduce your speed right away into 40 kilometers per hour for safety reasons. And if you're at the city buses 27, 29, and 31 Delta, and if it's being asked by the safety marshal, you have to move immediately towards the back of the bus if you're heading towards the final destination within NCR. As most passengers during the rush hour may find it difficult to maneuver back and forth with the standing passengers taking their commute. And remember that the maximum capacity for the standing passengers on the coach type buses is at 10, while the low floor bus is at 15. And for minibus or light bus is at 5. And that count includes those with official duties like those of the conductors and the safety marshals. And likewise, if you're being asked by a senior or a person with disability to vacate those frontal seats, kindly do it so out of consideration and respect as well. That most of the people with disabilities across the Philippines have reported such discrimination related issues, particularly those in Cebu City, as we have spotted a report coming from Brigada Action Center based in Cebu City that indeed is an outright discrimination in a public transport setting, and that is strictly prohibited by law under the LTFRB guidelines and even the laws of the Republic of the Philippines in relation to the accessibility, like those of BP344, RA 7277, 9442, and 10754. Likewise, all buses with television sets are hereby as well required to turn on their closed caption setting as stipulated under the RA 10905. And that includes the broadcaster's responsibility to make sure that these closed captions are working as well. And if you're watching through DP24 General TV, we have embedded already the subtitles or closed caption as well for you to understand, particularly to our fellow deaf or hard of hearing sweethearts right there. And likewise, in this upcoming NDPR event that takes place from 17th July, we have some sort of further trainings and seminars, including the disability awareness and sensitivity seminars that were ought to be attended by everyone. And we will try our best to simulcast all of these events if in case of the online. We will simulcast this all over DP24 General TV all the way until 11 in the morning to give way for the Laging Handa PH public briefing as well. And likewise, if we're going to go back to the congestion reports as well, so let's see if we're going to check this one. We have already the moderate to heavy traffic on the Highway 64, and also Highway 62 is experiencing congestion as well. And likewise, we warn everyone that there is an ongoing construction on highways 171 and 192 due to the ongoing on-ramp construction towards E6 or the airport expressway as well. And likewise, Salas Interchange or the Nicos Interchange got into a congestion as well in a bit. So there should be no problem heading to BGC or McKinley Hill towards your workplace as well. No congestion has been reported for the Ayala interchange. And we have two construction reports within the Makati Central Business District. So if you ever came across these construction sites, you have to slow down right away. And likewise, we have an accident report. A minor accident has been occurred on the southbound of the C5 Highway 11 C5 Ortigas overpass on the southbound lane that generates this slowdown, and we have reported hazard on the Highway 11 C5 E. Rodriguez Jr. Avenue southbound, and we have a police action that is being take place. So expect such hazards to be removed in a matter of minutes in order to ease out such congestion as well. We don't have any congestion issues in Ortigas district and also in Araneta City as well. And unfortunately, we have a congestion on the Highway 59 westbound towards Highway 11 C5 and Cubao. We advise everyone to take alternate routes as early as possible, and if you're into commuting, you should have left your homes as early as possible. And we have a roadkill issue here on the westbound Highway 59, which is on the approach to Manila City. And likewise, we have reported pothole issue on Highway 184. And we have to check the rest of the potential issue that we have been receiving. And now we have an accident report once again. Two minor accidents that got occurred, one in Highway 170 in Manila and one in the Welcome Rotunda or the Roundabout Interchange connecting to Quezon City. And likewise, we have warned everyone to avoid such an accidents that would lead to a waste of everyone's time. Just follow the prescribed speed limits as enforced. And likewise, Highway 170 R7 Commonwealth Avenue is under the major standstill warning due to ongoing MRT 7 construction. And so if you came across with these restricted lanes, including those of the bicycle lane, bus or PUV lane, and even motorcycle lane, you have to stay out of these lanes to avoid huge fines and penalties. Especially if you're driving towards your workplace. And that concludes this morning rush. And before we let you go, we are hereby warned that the El Nino is hereby imminent. You have to stock up at least 1 drum of water for contingency measures. And likewise, conserve water as well. Report any pipeline leaks and expect the drop of the dam levels, particularly in Angat Dam in Central Luzon, particularly in Bulacan. And such drastic drop of the dam levels could be a risk of a low water allocation for the entire Mega Manila as well. And likewise, we have to conserve water as well. And if we are to remember this news or research that coming from a university study, particularly on the microplastics that were found on the water or tap water, then you have to be warned that installation of the water filtration system is hereby required, most especially on the public places where the tap water still exists as a drinking water source. And for your safety, the water filtration system should be working as well, and kindly replace every month or so to ensure the quality of the tap water that is being used for drinking or washing dishes and other everyday items that we need. And of course, we have to reduce the use of the water for watering the plants and even car washing. And for best results, a pressurized washer is hereby recommended for car washing purposes. And there you go. We have an advisory as well that DP24 Media will have its early advisory on the possible disruption due to ongoing pre-boards review, beat the clock, and even other trainings that were required for us board takers to undertake, might as well as the system enhancement that we might undertake without any warning in order for us to continue with this mission to promote safety and security to our fellow sweethearts, might as well as our friends right there and followers. And if you have found it useful, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and follow as well on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also across all social media channels or platforms. You have to hit the bell button, then select all or all notifications or all live videos so that you could be notified on the immediate live broadcast that is being happening right now. And of course, we have Wednesday Bible Study Block every Wednesday all over DP24 General TV on our prime time slot at around 2000 or 8 p.m. And also Feast at Home, Father Michael Aguarchas, Bibliaconia at the same time slot as the Wednesday Bible Study Block every Thursday, 2000 or 8 p.m. So with the Feast at Home, tonight God is first every Friday as well. Feast das Marinas Holy Mass will begin at around 1700 5 p.m. every Saturday, followed by the powerful talk session as well. But these are still on a test broadcast, so some of the delays may occur due to limited mobile broadband connection. And as far as we have raised a concern with the Dito telecommunity team, we are, or what we are implying on this is that they are taking our concerns very seriously in order to add more cell sites that would surface everyone else, particularly those of experiencing out of reachable signals, particularly the indoor areas as well. And we hope that every indoor venues would be equipped with a 4G, 5G beacons inside that is not harmful to our health as well, as these devices are being tested rigorously in order to provide you with this service that is needed at all costs, particularly to those wanting to reach an attainable maximum speed as well of up to 500 Mbps. But however, this would be on device dependent since there are technical limitations on such maximum speed that's all of the sudden it would throttle it down into 150 or something Mbps for such Wi-Fi dongles that were found and purchased separately. We recommend everyone to use the standalone pocket Wi-Fi for best results when it comes to mobile broadband as well. That would reach up to 500 Mbps or even 1 gigabit per second. So that's all for Morning Rush. Thank you very much for tuning with us today. God bless everyone, and always remember, sweethearts, that we have to be safe, be well, stay sane, and try, and you are loved.